Hooray! Hello, Karen. How are you? I assume I can be heard. I can't always tell. I'm not very not great at this. So I'm hoping that I can be heard. Says I can. So we'll see. It looks like. Uh, there it is. All right. All right. Well, good. All right. So I sent a link to my buddy Joshua, Caleb Joshua Hill, and I wonder if he's having trouble getting in. I only have a little bit of time today, so I may. What's up, Dapper Vanta crew? How are you? So I guess what I'll do is I'm going to start, and then if Caleb pops in, then he can join me on the show. And if not, you're stuck with just me, which better than nothing. Let's hope. Anyway, there he is.
Oh.
Hey, you made it.
Yeah, sorry, I was just
You're good, dude.
getting ready.
Look,
So
we don't stand on circumstance around here, dude. It's it's fly by the seat of our pants.
yeah, I saw Karen in the chat when I was looking at the YouTube.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right. So I made a few slides and I've got some notes, but we'll just go bounce back and forth off each other and do whatever. And if I get quiet, you jump in and that'll be fine,
Yeah.
man. I was just saying I've only got a little bit of time today because I have a thing at 5. So I'm going to get one more wear out of my Christmas shirt. And
How's my sound? I'm using a Bose. I got a new Bose speaker for Christmas. I'm just seeing if it sounds good.
Sounds
Okay.
good. I don't know much about sound. Like I keep trying with this mic and mine. And I almost bought a new mic, and I thought, well, maybe I'll wait and see if more.
Yeah, this is not like a regular mic. This is just like a Bluetooth speaker, but I have it sitting on a thing, so I'm just.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I'm gonna kind of press the record button, as Jeff C says, and we'll get going.
Yeah.
Hey, welcome to the But Mostly Disney podcast, episode 12, which is 11 more than I thought we'd ever do. So it's pretty exciting. Andrew is on assignment this week, which just means he's at Disney. And we talked about trying to go live from down there, but it just seemed too hard. So filling in for him is Caleb Joshua Hill from Fantasyland Adventures, his second time. So he's the most on-air guest we've had so far.
Yeah, most viewed in the comments.
Yeah, he's the number one guy. So we love having him around. How was your Christmas?
Good. Like I said off stage, I got a new Bose speaker, so you probably can hear a little bit better the sound. I just got some Roosevelt shirts and all kinds of cool things. How was your Christmas?
It was awesome. I love Christmas. I'm a big kid, hence the Disney fascination. I got a Mac Mini. My wife got me a Mac Mini for video editing and for doing this, but I'm not using it yet. I'm probably going to switch over to Ecamm from StreamYard and try that out. But I started working on it yesterday, and there's a big learning curve. I haven't used an Apple computer since I was in about 10th grade and was coding like BASIC on it. So it's been a long time. So there's a learning curve. It's a little different. One of the programs I was using wasn't working great. If anyone has any tips, please feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm all ears. But yeah, it was great. We have a lot of family, but they're all here. So we had four Christmases, and it was wonderful.
All right.
Well, so, and wrapping that up, this was a big year for Disney, right?
Oh yeah.
Like we had a lot go on. Most of it good, right? Some of it depending on perspective, right?
We could talk a little bit. I know we're positive, but there's some things I could talk about there that heard recently that are like, why?
And look, I always say I am positive, but I'm not a Disney apologist. So I don't mind if there are things that we don't like. That's okay. I just think there's a lot out there that is negative just to be negative, and I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to start off, if it's okay, with Disney Cruise Line. So Disney Cruise Line had a big year, right?
Yes, it did.
With the Treasure, and that launched. And if you were following along with Lou or Becky Menken from MEI Mouse Fan Travel or anybody else, we are seeing how beautiful this ship is. I think it's exactly the same as the Wish, right?
Yes. Well, the atrium is based off Aladdin. From what I've seen through videos from sources like WDW NT, they show the atrium. They have this nice chandelier above it that's actually has all the ships on it represented in this chandelier, so you can't really see it. And then you could see from the left their atrium statue of Aladdin, Jasmine, and the magic carpet. And I think there's the magic lamp as well.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And for those of you listening to audio, this isn't going to translate well, but I do typically do slides.
I'm pretty much describing everything for you guys listening to it on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. Check us out on his.
Nice. Yeah. And there's that chandelier Caleb's talking about. So in the little hanging lights below it are where you will see you'll see all the different ships represented. And it's really, really cool. And that's their 6th ship. Is that right?
This is This is next year will be what I've heard from the Christmas Day parade. They have the Destiny, which is will be a ship that's based off, I think, mostly like Marvel. So their atrium statue will be, not to go forward in 2025, but it will be Black Panther. So
right, I saw that, and that looks pretty cool. What I think. So I went on a Disney cruise a couple years ago on the Wish on its inaugural voyage and loved it. But I prefer the parks, I guess. I still love cruising, but if I'm going to spend money, that's where I'm going to spend it. Except I didn't get a slide, but the Skipper Canteen Lounge and then this Haunted Mansion Lounge.
I'm telling you, this, when I saw it, from what I've seen from like Resort 21 and WWNT, I was just like, this is so cool. Everything from what I saw through videos, awesome, really cool.
It's wild. I mean, that's what makes you want to go on a cruise.
I'm sorry. If you go back to that picture, you can see from the back. That's Rolly Crump, the person that worked on this attraction with Walt. Worked on it. It's a Small World and all kinds of projects for Walt Disney Imagineering. So he was represented as one of the busts. So
yeah, it's pretty cool. It just looks incredible. And I understand from each seat has a different experience and all kinds of different lights. And then they also have added Lighthouse Key or K, right?
Lighthouse Key, and that's the Junkanoo, where they have the Junkanoo dance party, right. I believe it's called. Yeah.
So they focused a lot on culture, which is really cool. And I think I put a map in here, but their slides are out of order. Yeah, there you go. So I had a slide, but I don't think I somehow didn't make it, of the long bridge into getting in. But again, I think they only have part of this island. Still pretty amazing, and cabanas and a beach over on one side, and then kind of the typical water park and all the family stuff on the other. So now there's 2 spots you can go to for your cruises. So they had a big year, and they've got a lot more ships coming. Again, not to jump ahead, but they're adding just tons and tons and tons of ships to their line. It's going to be amazing.
Yes, it is.
And I heard there's a Coco themed dinner, much like the Arendelle one on the Wish. And then you've got a Moana stage show that's supposed to be just insane. Absolutely insane. All right, what do you got, Caleb?
So do you have anything set up? Because I don't think besides
that's cool.
Besides D23, that was the one thing I can think of right now.
All right. Well, then I can fire through in order, and then we can. And some of that stuff might cover some of the D23 stuff. And just jump in. It's again,
Again,
There's no real order.
I never.
Lightning Lane Premier. A lot of changes in Lightning Lane this year. Again, just as I got used to the other one. So no more Fast Pass Plus, no more Genie Plus. Now it's Lightning Lane, and then the probably ever elusive, really expensive Lightning Lane Premier Pass, which I think they just opened up to all resorts. It was just originally it was just deluxe resorts. So now I think all resorts can get it, but it's still inaccessibly expensive.
Yes.
And I think for my money, I think I would literally just save up a little more and do a private tour. But they changed it again. It's been going through a lot of changes, and in some ways it's frustrating because my friends don't understand, and they call me and say, hey, how do you do this? And then I try to tell them, and then it's an hour and a half later and we're no closer to them understanding how to get on a ride. However, I do on my YouTube channel, Mostly Disney, I have a couple videos, and I think one coming up tomorrow about doing it without anything, without any lightning lanes, just boarding groups and standing in line. And I've had a lot of success depending on, crowd structure. It's hard to say.
I wonder how Disneyland is like with Lightning Lane and whatever they do over there.
I've been once, and I don't remember, and I forget what they call it, and everybody raves about it, but it's different, right? It's more local people, as I understand it, there compared to where we get on Florida. I'm in Virginia, but still on this coast, we get a lot more people from other places, England, South America, all over the world. And so just different crowds, and maybe even just a different way people do the parks. So
I just think because of what for next year, hopefully planning on doing Disneyland 70th if that happens. But I just wanted to know, just to make sure.
Yep, I'm not sure. All right, speeding through. Country Bear Jamboree is new, different.
Yes, that actually started at the beginning of the year in January. I think it was January 19th, if I'm remembering, because that was a long. Again, January was felt like a long time ago.
The 9th.
But the from what I've seen, is pretty good. I know I missed some of this. Again, a lot of people said, "Oh, I missed some of the songs," but some of them were insensitive. Blood on a saddle, like blood. Seriously, little kids would be like, "What blood on the saddle?" Like,
I disagree vehemently, but I love the old one and I love the new one. I'm very happy with the new one. I think it's true. We can get maybe caught up in our nostalgia and not think about other people. It's easy for me to tell you why I love the old one so much. Was it my favorite ride? No. Not particularly. It wasn't it wasn't Jungle Cruise. It wasn't something I had to do every time, but I did love it. And I think this one's great. I think the songs are good. I think the songs sound like the old ride attraction. Sorry. I think that they honored the old stuff really well, and it makes it really accessible to some new folks coming in. So I'm really thrilled with it.
So I'm eating yogurt a little bit.
And then we also had over there Tiana. Tiana's Bayou Adventure and Splash Mountain is no more.
Yeah.
I also have
stories. The stories. I mean, I've heard this. I've watched the review from Tom recently, saying, "Oh yeah, Tom, Splash Mountain didn't have a story. It's just about Rabbit realizing that he was wrong, that he should have never left his home, and he goes back to his home." But this has sort of a story, because throughout the queue, there's a whole story with how it started with her business and stuff, like through all these little pieces of paper and stuff. So I don't know. I mean, I like Splash Mountain. This has memories for me, and this Zippity Doodah will never go away, even if they try to erase it, because I know they've been trying to erase Splash Mountain, or Song of the South, which is based off Splash Mountain, or not based off. Splash Mountain is based off of Song of the South. They try to do that with there's in Hollywood studios, they try to erase there was a mural with Uncle Remus and the other characters, and as well as Festival Fantasy had Zippity Doodah erased from the attraction, or from the not attraction, the parade, and so you can't hear that. You hear Zippity, and then you just hear the melody in the background. But
it's hard, right? Because I love the music from Splash Mountain. The characters are cool. They weren't my favorite. I don't have like a Brer Rabbit doll or anything.
Oh
but
yeah, I have a friend who had all the dolls when they came out, all the plushes. He got them, and I could talk about how, the resellers took them all and put them on eBay,
right. And it's not just Zippity Doo. It's a pretty good Sure As You're Born. I mean, there's a lot of music.
All those songs, actually, most of those songs were from the film, and some of them were in the area music, which you could hear. But
you cannot. I think it would be difficult to argue that Tiana's has some of the best music of any Disney movie made. So for that, to me, it's kind of trading, apples for apples. So we lost some great music on that attraction. Sorry, I always say ride. And then really got some great music, which is awesome.
The only thing that bothers me, not to spoil it, because I know people haven't seen it, but some people might have. So spoilers. Jim Cummings, who voiced oh my gosh, I forget his name now. The Firefly. Oh my gosh.
Look at him, Ray.
Ray. I was like, I know his name. I'm just sort of gunning. He was in the attraction. You could hear his song going down the bayou, but he's not. He's in the story. He's gone. Like he passed away because of Dr. Facilier. And he's in the attraction, and I'm thinking, this doesn't make any sense. Is he singing in his ghost form? I don't get it. Like that's the one error. Like, I don't think you.
Yeah, I would be terrible as a Hollywood continuity supervisor because I suspend a lot of disbelief in order to enjoy what's going on.
Yeah.
But I think they did a nice job with Splash with Tiana's.
I mean, yeah, they did a good job. I'm just like, I know I'm bringing, it's not trying to be, like I said, choose the good, but there was moments with the attraction. They had some issues with the audio animatronics. Some of them were like, well, they were singing, but I remember seeing that with the last time I was at Disney. I remember seeing Ariel in the Undersea Adventure, and she didn't move her mouth. It was just static. I mean, they always have. All the animatronics have issues all the time, so it's
absolutely true. And since we're on something controversial, we can touch on this because we're getting 2 new DVC hotels, right? A Wilderness Lodge version, which is not pictured.
It's the Lake Side, I think it's called.
Right, and the infamous the cabins.
Oh boy, those names were
Fort Wilderness, which they got rid of the old ones. We got a new hotel coming, and then this thing. And I've seen it rise up. I've been there a bunch this year. It is different, but so is Bay Lake Tower. And I don't hear people, grumbling on the monorail that they can't stand to look at Bay Lake Tower, even though it's obviously not the contemporary, right?
Yeah, it's not good.
I do think it would be easy to find a very regular Marriott that has a similar shape to this. I think it does resemble some of like Waikiki, some of the beaches. And I think if it were me, just personal opinion, you can in the comments tell me I'm wrong. I think I would have matched the roof lines like they did at the Floridian. I think I would have kept it unified that way. But
saying this would be fit on Honolulu Beach.
Right. But you cannot argue the inside is beautiful. I mean, the rooms look gorgeous and everyone makes fun of the beige, but I think it's understated and pretty.
Yeah.
I think the dining area down there is incredible with that water feature. I mean, it does feel Imagineered. And I think sometimes some of these things like, because it's new this year, not Connections Cafe, Communicore Hall. Communicore Hall does not feel Imagineered to me.
No, it feels. We could talk all about that.
I'm not going to go too far into that.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, it's just, man. So I know we're still on this topic, but the Communicore Hall is kind of like, and it looks like my old middle school and high school cafeteria. That's how it looks like. I know what my cafeteria looked like when I was in middle school. That's what it looked like back, like it looks like now.
And look, there's no way, and at least not in my inexperienced and amateur mind, to really capture what was there before. We can't go the education, the sense of tomorrow. It was outdated the moment it opened because technology is moving so fast. So I get that we had to do something different, but even this year, I loved the gingerbread spaceship Earth. It was awesome. I really enjoyed seeing that. But on either end,
what's going to be there when it's gone? Like that's the thing.
That's the thing. So, but even still, on either end, they had whatever the Christmas tree company, Balsam Hill or something. It was just like 9 trees with no ornaments, just green with lights. Yeah. A lot of the lights were out. It's just not up to the usual Imagineer snuff.
And then when you go into the Meet Mickey, you have, it's kind of teasing. You're like, oh yeah, I think there was a Horizons or there was a World of Motion little stickers, and I'm like, you.
But again, it's always changing, right? With let's look at Fast Pass and how fast that's gone. Maybe this will do the same. Disneyland got Tiana's Bayou. So they got into
same thing, except if you go on that attraction, you're not sitting next to each other. It's the same. I mean, it's the same log. It's just narrow, and you're sitting, in row, kind of like Space Mountain was for Walt Disney World. It was like one row. They got
a Hungry Bear barbecue jamboree.
Soaked in that attraction. You said something about barbecue?
Oh, they got a Hungry Bear barbecue restaurant. And I've only been there once. We don't get out there as much as I'd like to. Paradise Pier is now Pixar Place, right? Which is awesome.
Pier, yes, it's just like Pixar Pier became. Paradise Pier at the area became Pixar Pier, which was 6 years ago. And this has. I'm forgetting his name. Joe from Soul doing piano. You have meet and greet with Bing Bong, so you can meet him. They have a restaurant, which I'm forgetting now what the name was because it's more
Karen's
like
saying about Communicore, not to backtrack, but she's saying that they designed it to do many different things, and I agree 100%. Yes. It is definitely a versatile space. It's just. I feel like they could have made a new way to do that kind of space, something that we hadn't seen before, and it feels very ordinary. And Disney is anything but that, right?
I mean, they have that, and then you have this weird. I have no idea. My friends have made fun of it. That thing where they have that little show where it's like they spin around in a circle on this like it looks like a gymnastic thing, and they have like boop to boop to boop to like dance music too.
Yeah.
Like.
I haven't stopped to watch the whole thing, but what they're doing is incredible. So we'll see. It's always changing, always in a state of transformation. I hope. Let's see.
Walt Disney. I don't know if that was this year, but Walt Disney statue is one of the things I want to see when I get there. I did get a picture.
I just got a nice picture done with that. It's that I do love.
And I would love to, and sitting watching the fireworks, sitting next to Walt Disney would be an awesome thing to do.
It looks really pretty at night, right? Yes. During the day, it's little.
It looks dystopia, kind of like Disney Springs. I've heard people say.
I think Disney Springs looks better. It's just, but
true.
At night, it is absolutely gorgeous. It really is pretty. The lights are gorgeous.
Once they work, it's when they're working.
They're back. They're back now. They looked great when I was there like 3 weeks ago.
Those lights remind me of Interventions area when it used to be like those in ground lights.
I think the outside of Communicore Hall looks great. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
Tokyo Disney got Fantasy Springs.
Oh my gosh, I was on that thing the whole time. That whole time I was on it. Like I
I want to
watching.
go so bad.
Tom Corliss was from WWT. I know I've been saying his name multiple times, but he was doing a whole like tour. He was like, okay, I'm doing this media tour. I'm gonna go to the park multiple times. I'm gonna try the food. I'm gonna experience these attractions. And it was just awesome. The music in the park is fantastic. I know I heard some of the food items are okay, but we have to judge for ourselves when we go there one day.
I dream every night.
Yep, Tokyo is the best park out of them all. Well, it's second park, Tokyo Disney Sea, but I know Tokyo Disney Resort is probably the best park in
That's what I hear, right?
Yeah, it is.
All right. Well, so Disney dining plan's back. We didn't do it this year, but if you ever need one, I have a spreadsheet to see how it works away. You got to eat a lot. That's my review of the Disney dining plan. There's nothing wrong with it. It's really nice to have it all paid and just tip and move on down the road. But you really have to eat steak and lobster. I think one year we saved about $350, but we gained like 400 pounds. So it's hard. Park reservations went away for everybody except for pass holders, which I keep forgetting. And then I go to the park and they're like, why can't I get in?
You're lucky to be a pass holder. Hopefully one day hopefully maybe next year I'll try to.
Karen, I keep visualizing. I feel like if I say that I'm going to Tokyo enough, then it'll happen. But it's still a little ways away.
Like, how much are you spending on annual passes?
Mine was like $1,500.
Okay.
And I'm tracking, but I think I've saved about somewhere between $650 and $700 in my pass holder savings. And I mean, I had to spend $10,000 to do that, but I've spent, I have saved some money, and I've certainly got my money out of the pass. And I think to renew it is only like $1,200. So
I don't know what
it's all a business
for
expense,
D23.
Right?
D23, I'm spending on I think it was like $200.
Yeah, Karen, my budget will probably never be there either, but I keep dreaming.
I mean, we try to do D23 and then they sell out, and like possible because these people are just either they're doing it because of the good reasons or they're doing it because they want to sell stuff on eBay, like the merchandise, which just ticks me off. I could talk about resellers, how bad they are, but
I know it's
weird.
It's a bizarre culture. Park Fair opened back up, which I love. Different characters. I haven't been yet since it reopened. I did love Cinderella and the Stepsisters. So much fun. But from what I hear, this is great. And they have they had that strawberry soup, which was really good. It's a good.
Yeah, I've heard Peggy Menken from Mass and Travel.
That's right. She does love that. Yep.
She loves it.
So I think that's a lot of fun. It's a good spot. And then at Disney Springs, though it's gone now, they had the drone show, which I thought was pretty spectacular.
It had to stop because unfortunately, it just again they would die most of the time. I remember a couple times I saw some articles where some of them dropped into the water because they were, I guess, not charged enough or something. But
it was still pretty incredible to watch.
Like the soundtrack for this, absolutely amazing. It had that kind of feel to the song, and it's just so good. I mean, most of the music was regular, like most of the Disney music, but then they had an official song, which was really good. You could check it on iTunes or Google Play, whatever you stream your music. I know, just promoting that, but still, it's awesome. It's really cool.
Yeah, it was. I don't know, man. It was pretty awesome to watch. I really liked it. The math alone was incredible, right?
Yes.
What else went on? Let's see. Okay, so Victoria Albert's got a Michelin star. So I think I talked about this on one of the last shows, but out of the top 5 meals in my life, 4 have been at Disney, which I think a lot of people don't realize. Victoria Albert's is very expensive and very fancy. But it's like a once in a lifetime experience. It's just so amazing.
Yeah, I mean, you have to dress up, which, as a person who is only dressed up once in a while, this would be probably one of those times that would do it.
Yeah, it's cool, and it's great food, and with a little Disney flair. I enjoyed it. We have not been back. We did do Takumite in I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, in Epcot, and that was an incredible experience as well. Again, the food is really important to our trips. We lost the shooting gallery this year, which is kind of a bummer.
Oh yeah,
I really liked that.
I never got to experience it. We promised with me and my family, we would always like, oh, we gotta go, run. Can't, and I don't think I've ever seen it because we're looking straight away. We're not even looking to the side. So like, even me, I don't think I've ever seen Golden Horseshoe because we're just looking straight away. We're not even looking to the side sometimes because we're just rushing, which we need to stop. And like, once we, hopefully in the next couple of years, we live there, we can try to.
But it's hard, right? Because, you know, I will say that since I started doing this like a year ago, I was worried that I would be bored or it would be a chore to go to Disney, which I know sounds funny to say out loud. However, all that being said, I still get tingly every time I go to the park, no matter what I'm doing.
Oh yeah.
And the cool thing is
there's certain parts of the parks where you get very excited about, you know, like resorts or certain parks, you know.
Yeah. See, oh look, I've never done this before. Isn't that cool? But Karen said, you know, we lost the gallery, and her son Sean, who's awesome.
Yeah.
And so it is a bummer, but the nice thing is that I've been this time and really been able to, you know, stop and been able to look at things I don't normally see, been able to slow down a little bit. Like I've gone several times this year and not even, like I was at Epcot and forgot to get a Guardians spot, you know, in the virtual queue, a boarding group. So I mean,
Karen's saying in the chat that she worked there. I know I've known this before.
I love hearing that
because she said that she was working when it was when Wishes was happening, and I just that was. Wishes is one of those things that I listen to frequently, and you know, that's kind of like one of the songs that's like, man, that's one of the songs that makes sense now because I know some things are just not as good as it was back then, but they're doing somewhat good in the parks, but you know,
yeah,
budgets and most of their money is going to like cruises, and some of it's going to Disney Plus, so it's like.
Yeah, it's you know, again, it changes and changes and changes, and we lose some stuff we love, and then we end up with some stuff that, you know, perhaps is better that comes along. So I try to take the good with the bad. All right, so what else you got for 2024, Caleb?
So I said D23 happened in August. It was August 9th through the 11th, and we had a lot of cool news. We had parks news and film news. We had, for films, we had announcement of Toy Story 5 and a movie called Beavers, I think it was Beavers. They had Freakier Friday, all kinds of films that came out, and then we had news about the Villains Land and the Monsters Incorporated Land, which now we know where Muppet Vision 3 is going to be now, and a whole bunch of stuff that happened during that time. It was really cool to see everything was going on, but you could check all that news out on Disney Parks blog. There's a lot of that news that happened. You could find on there. Yes, Cars. Karen's talking about Cars Land or Cars area somewhat, which is taking over.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about that, right? I mean, that's a big deal. I am I am both, again, as always, thrilled and sad. I don't want to sound like I'm wishy-washy, but
Yeah, I know.
I find it shocking that it could happen, that you would get rid of Tom Sawyer Island, and I find it even more shocking that you would get rid of the paddle wheel. However,
Yes.
my kids said it's boring and hot, and they love Disney. They love it, but it
Well, if
doesn't.
you go in the cave, you're not hot. The cave
No,
is
I mean,
like.
I'm riding on the boat.
Oh yeah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah.
Yep, thrilled but sad, right? Great minds think alike, Karen.
Yes.
Thrilled but sad. It's so hard. But in saying that, 2025, right? Disney Starlight Parade coming back,
Yes.
a nighttime
Yes.
parade back at Magic Kingdom where it belongs.
I'm friends with somebody who would count the days of the parade on. Do you know what Sorcerer Radio is? It's a music.
Oh, yeah.
His name is Jeff Davis. He's from DW60. He would talk about from 2016 since I known him. He would talk about every day. Every day he's like, this is 100 and whatever days since we didn't have a nighttime parade. And then as soon as it came, once we heard it, I was like, I'm thinking you, Jeff. I'm thinking you because it's happening. So we finally have a nighttime parade.
I mean, that's the thing, right?
Since, I think it's since Main Street Electrical Parade or Spectrum Magic. I think. I'm not sure if it's
Karen, on the YouTube channel, I have a full walkthrough on Tom Sawyer Island, just walking the whole trail, everything. So I know I'm not the first one, obviously, to do that. Tons of people have it preserved forever, but
yeah,
it is a bummer. I am excited. I do hope. Now, my youngest, one of my kids hates the Muppets. I mean, despises them.
Wow. Yeah, I have a brother who hates the Muppets.
She came home the other night, and we were watching Muppet Christmas Carol, and she almost burst into tears, and she's 19, to please turn it off. Please do something else. She just hates them. She thinks they're creepy. So look, I know I'll love it. And don't send me hate mail. Send it to Andrew, since he's in Disney. I'm not really that excited about Villains Land. It doesn't mean that much to me. I will go to it, and I'm sure it's going to be amazing. But if you'd have put 5 things, and that being one on the list, I probably would have picked the other 4 things first.
What about Monsters?
That's where I was going next. I'm very excited about when I watched.
Oh my gosh! When I
watched Monsters Inc., when I saw it, I thought this is a roller coaster waiting to happen.
I was 4 when that came out, so that was a very special film to me.
I was a little older than that.
I know, but when they announced it and they're like, "Oh yeah, we're having this thing," and Billy Crystal came out and said, me at the end, the stuff, if you didn't have you, and we all went nuts. Like everyone in the people in the because I was not physically there, but from what I saw from the live stream, people went nuts. I went nuts in my house, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy!"
I know it's going to be awesome, and I'm excited about it. You're going to have a sushi restaurant, Helly Hansen's.
Harryhausen, yeah.
Hellyhausen, thank you. Helly Hansen's a brand in Norway. Yeah. Harryhausen, that's right.
There you go.
And then
I'm hoping in that restaurant we have an animatronic, the squid that's chopping the sushi. That would be so cool.
Like you could do it like in the Ohana where the grill is. You could just have him in there.
Yeah.
In Animal Kingdom, we're going to lose Dinosaur, which I know a lot of people are sad about. I like going there, but I didn't love the theming. I thought it was just okay. But we'll get Indiana Jones, and it's hard to argue with that. And then the Encanto house, which again, I could honestly take a leave, although Karen's going to kill me because I know they love that movie. It just didn't speak to me. It's not bad. We watched it.
The music is good. Like there's some good songs. I mean,
we don't talk about music.
So Bruno is like the #1 song of 2021. It was.
Look, I would have said Pandora was a waste of money. I would have never thought that Pandora, the world of Avatar, would have fit in Animal Kingdom, that it would still be relevant, that it would still be going on. And where does everybody go when they go in there? They go straight to Pandora to ride the most sword on steroids, right?
She said I'm sad about the boneyard. Yeah, that was a.
So yeah, I'm in the same way. So we almost lost one of our kids in the boneyard. I was just watching the video the other day. I should make a slideshow with like that Sarah McLachlan song from the.
Was this when they were little? When you lost them?
Yeah, when they were little, and
so do you have this on Yeah, definitely put. If you have it, you should have definitely VHS tapes.
I just don't think people want to watch my old family videos, but no, we literally I have 3 kids and they're twins and then 15 months older, so I basically have triplets, and we were outnumbered. And then the last thing I have is we talked about it, but 4 new ships from 27 to 31 in the Disney fleet.
So we did about the Destiny, and then the Adventure will be probably the next following year, and then whatever. I mean, I don't know what the name would be. Like, I mean, guessing would be. I can't really think of names right now, but it would be interesting what the be for these next ships in the next couple of years.
I mean, look, it's always changing, and it's yin and yang, right? I tell my kids about this. It's all about balance. Everything has a price. You want something new and awesome, you're going to lose something old and awesome. You can't have the good without bad. But I don't know. I think that gets a little Nietzschean or something. But it's going to change, and we're going to lose stuff. I almost wish we had a spot somewhere, maybe in Marceline, to take some of this stuff and put it like a museum, so we could have 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, make sure the Carousel Progress is never gone. The People Mover lives forever, I mean, at some point in time, will people hate Space Mountain and want to get rid of it? I don't know. It's hard to believe.
I mean, the track lineup is pretty much, it's just in a circle. You go in a circle, but I was like, back then in 1975 and at Disneyland 1977, that was a huge thing. Like, oh my gosh, we're going to space.
Right. I loved all the circle vision.
The whole inner, like, even New Tomorrowland, that was a cool, like, I didn't grow up with that because that was in 94, so I wasn't alive yet, but the whole, of course, a lot of things happened during that time. You had Alien Counter, you had Timekeeper, you had, they were about to, have Sunny Eclipse be part of the Tomorrowland Terrace. But yeah, it was a really cool time.
Oh, and I remember If You Had Wings.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love the music. I mean, for me, who researched these attractions, and listened to this music, it was so good during that time. And now it's kind of like we have Buzz, we have
Andrew, just to rub it in.
Yeah, I know.
But I missed Figment, right? Like I went as a kid in the 70s. I didn't go in the 80s. I didn't go in the 90s, even though I lived in Jacksonville and Daytona. Yeah. I mean, I was right there and didn't go. And then started going again, 2006. So I missed Figment.
Oh, 2006. What time was I was there in November when I was like 9 years old. So we probably bumped into each other, probably not even knowing each other.
Don't rub it in. Andrew says Epcot is packed.
Well, yeah, enjoy packed Epcot. You probably can't even walk because Christmas Day was insane. Christmas Day was probably really bad.
I don't know, Karen. There's so many things. That's a whole nother show to find out what's wrong with me. There's a long. I'll bring my wife on. She'll tell you all the things that are wrong with me, and then she'll tell you the things that she thinks.
Figment is the best.
So that's what I was going to finish and say is that Figment. I kind of wrote it, and I was like, and we skipped it, and now he's just starting to grow on me to the point that I literally had to sit there with my wallet out trying to decide whether or not to buy that Christmas sweater that they offered this year.
They recently, I mean, what I've seen on the line, they had a sweatshirt and it sold out. Like, seriously?
It was there. I could have bought it, and Figment was in it. But I will tell you that that I think. And I think Josh Gad said it best. We need to give Figment some love, and he deserves it.
And Karen saying, love the original, which, come on, the original is better. This version is pretty much, Lewis talked about it a lot about like we need to get this. He predicted that it should be um, reimagined because it just continues like it's from 2007. That was a long time ago, and
I thought I told you not to interfere.
But you got
Yeah,
it
I know,
wrong,
yeah.
Doc. It's not about listening
Here's
with
his
your
little sweater.
ears. It's about
love it.
listening with your
Isn't that cute?
I love. They should just make plushes out of that too. I don't know why they haven't. I have a Figment
Right.
plush during the 40th. I was there during the 40th, and they had a plush of Figment wearing the 40th T-shirt, and yeah, I feel like they
I
should
think
do it.
I think he deserves a Pandora level animatronic and an update on the ride, because it definitely gives out some Disney Channel 90s vibes on that ride. And I don't know,
Channel vibes, yeah.
does anyone know? Do they still? Okay, again, Andrew Richard is saying this. So please send your hate mail to Andrew mousegears@gmail.com, not me. I just said he's growing on me. So no, but that rainbow corridor, I know it was better on the original ride, but every time I go there,
Yeah.
it's there, and they're blocking it off.
Well, technically, so it was there. So it's upstairs where Imagine works. Where
Yeah, but they
what is
have a-
Imagine works? But
they-
now
I
it's
wanna-
downstairs, and it's outdated. I mean, it's still fun for kids, but they can play around with the.
But I never see it open. It's always someone's guarding it, to make sure you can't get in.
But yeah, when you go upstairs, where the Disney Vacation Club, which used to be Imagine Works, it was used to be back behind the wall. They still had the original ImageWorks, not Imagine Works, ImageWorks, and it had the little thing that would go around, and you would see Figment in it, and yeah, I wish that was still there, but I wasn't around during that time. And the Rainbow Corridor you were talking about, that was like Michael Jackson was part of that, and I mean,
Oh yeah, Captain
part of-
EO. I thought that was great.
that was a big part of Epcot and Disneyland. But oh yeah, bring back Dreamfinder. Yeah, but you have a store that says Dean Finder, and that's all we get from that character now. So
It's funny, but there's some passionate Epcot people. That's why I said I don't want to get too involved. I don't want to say anything too bad.
no, yeah, the original. I feel like it was Edutainment or Edumacate. How do you say it? Edutainment. I was gonna say Edumacate because I had kids in school that said Edumacation. They just
Right.
But
I think that Siemens build your own roller coaster thing was one of the greatest things I've ever been
that
on.
was part of Interventions. Yeah,
It was
they had a
so
lot of
much
things.
fun.
Communicore, the original Communicore was part of that, and Interventions. It had these even during the millennial celebration. They had these like cultural things, and I've been, that I can't believe that was 25 years ago. In 1999, I was part of that whole experience. In 2000, I remember there was a picture of me and my family in front of Spaceship Earth with 2000 above it. A lot of people hated that. I don't care. It's just kind of like when they had the Sorcerer Apprentice hat in front of the Great Movie Ride, and it kind of blocked the Grauman's Theater, which housed Great Movie Ride. But it had so much memories from that.
I liked the hat at Disney Hollywood. I liked the Sorcerer's hat. I still have somewhere. My son had it, a globe with all the the four parks representations, and we had it when it was the hat, and it was.
I mean, we could talk, but that in the new year. When, I have other ideas.
Yeah.
But we could talk about like MGM and about how
Go through each park.
that is.
Well, on that note, I've got to go. I didn't realize it had been almost an hour. I love this. And thanks, Richard and Andrew. Thanks for stopping by. Even though you're having a much better time. Karen's glad my hat's gone. I like Karen. We agree and disagree on like half and half. So we complement each other perfect. Richard, thank you so much for coming.
Yes.
Chris W., thank you for showing up. Everybody, I really appreciate it. It means a lot that anyone would come and spend a Saturday afternoon with us. I'm going to work really hard to do Thursdays if I'm being.
I always try to make it. I'm thinking, when are we doing these? Because I'm like, oh, he's gonna do it Thursday. Oh no, it's not.
I know.
Thursday. Oh, maybe it's Saturday. Maybe it's not Saturday. Maybe it's Tuesday. I'm not sure. But I've said this in the chat every time we're in here. Make sure to subscribe and like so you never miss a live show. Just make sure.
You still might miss it. You get what you pay for, guys.
Yeah,
we're throwing this together.
Always click that bell button. You always will.
I have zero idea what I'm doing. I just keep turning the camera on each week and seeing what happens.
Yeah.
But that being said, honestly, I didn't even know what day it was. And like Thursday at like 8 o'clock or 6 o'clock, I think I was like, oh, I was going to do a podcast, but I was going to do it. Thank God I didn't, because I would have done it by myself while Andrew's in Florida. And then after that, I thought about it. Hey, I'll invite Caleb on. So I'm not all by myself, because it's much easier with a co-host. So I don't know what the topic will be next Thursday. I'll try to start.
Which is actually not next Thursday. Oh, next Thursday, not this Thursday, right? Because that's. Oh no, there's the first. Or are you talking about the following?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So next year we will be.
Next year, that's right.
Next year will be your full year of because we've been doing this for almost
a year. I think my Disney Wish was the first video I posted that I actually let people see, and that might have been in December, so a year and a month or so, something like that. So pretty
December
exciting.
of 2023, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
that's
it's
right.
been a year.
So pretty cool.
And should I know you said this the last time, but am I allowed to plug anything at the end, or is this?
And absolutely. Where do people find you, and
so you can find me, of course, if you are listening to this, you could find me at Caleb Joshua Hill on all socials. And I have a link tree. If you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X, which a lot of people don't use, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. All the links are on Linktree/Caleb Joshua Hill.
And I think I'm on everything but mostly Disney. My real name does show up on Facebook, but there's also a But Mostly Disney group, which Caleb moderates, and he puts a lot of his stuff in there. If you guys have something to plug, as long as it's family friendly and positive, feel free to put it in there as well. I want a spot, where everybody can hang out and trade secrets and things. And I don't even mind if you're selling something, as long as it's Disney related. So, but if you do something wrong, Caleb will knock you out.
I know most of my stuff comes on, and you see me post, my posting things, mostly Disney, sometimes that actress that you probably see a lot, but I try to make it, she is a former Disney actress, so it's fine, but some of the things are, like she's an adult, which I get it, so some things I don't post, but most of the things are Disney related, so.
Yeah, Karen, I want to have you on too, because you have a lot of Disney, a lot of both as coming as a cast member, and then maybe we can talk about your recent cruise. So
definitely need to hear about that. So
cool. Well, thanks, guys. Have an amazing, safe New Year's Eve. I hope you're like me and stay home and don't do anything. And we'll see you in the new year.
Yeah.
Thanks. Happy New Year.
And have a New Year.
All right. Bye, guys.